I've seen so many black women that say they want thugs, they want the gangster type, they feel protected. I've seen men give them STDs.
Holy shit. If I get 10,000 followers, I'm growing my beard to be like this nigga's beard, bro. If I get 10,000 followers, I'm gonna grow my beard and my beard gonna be like this nigga. I don't even think my beard could go that long, bro. Yo, that nigga's beard is like, god damn. Is that a real beard, bro? It's like glued on beard, bro. That beard is too perfect, bro. That beard is too perfect, bro. Nah, bro, I can't grow my beard that long, bro. 10,000 followers, I'm gonna shave my motherfucking beard, nigga.
Banging on his door like, I love you. I'm like, who's really the fool here, you know?
But are thugs the only ones that are giving out STDs? Is that what we're saying? And I have to.
Hold on. Wait. Black people, black women. Wait, what is this? I only date white men. Hold on. Let me back up. Back up. What am I watching? I only date white men middle ground. Alright. Hold on. Alright. So we reacting to I only date white men.
I've seen so many black women that say they want thugs, they want the gangster type, they feel protected. I've seen men give them STDs and they're still banging on his door like, I love you. I'm like, who's really
It's because they done fucked up, bro. At that point, they done fucked up. They ain't got no other choice.
the fool here, you know?
But are thugs the only ones that are giving out STDs? Is that what we're saying? And I have to. Majority. Oh, you're talking to a public health background right now. Let me tell you.
I prefer to date outside my race. Step forward if you agree with the prompt.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even fucking know, bro. Shit.
Realistically, I would definitely want to marry a black man. I know that we've experienced a lot of trauma in our community, and I think that...
Wait, hold on. What the fuck? Wait. I prefer to date outside my race. Oh shit, I gotta hear this. Holy fuck.
Trauma stems back from our colonizers, which have put us against each other, and it makes it difficult for us to come together and be healthy in a relationship, if that makes sense.
For me personally, growing up mixed, just because I did grow up more so with my mom on the white side of my family, just when it came to dating experiences with black men, if anything, they would always tell me,
now, why the fuck would I date a different race when I got black queens that look like heaven itself? Black love is the best love for her.
oh, you're really white, or just really racial comments about how I'm mixed.
Not a traitor. Them white boys just treat us with respect. Plus, they got money. 3 smiley faces. Well, heart. Fucking faces.
That makes me uncomfortable. Like, at the end of the day, I'm black. I understand that I grew up predominantly on the white side of my family, but people don't see me on the street and think that's a white woman. Like,
Right. They're gonna look at you as a black woman.
Yeah, I'm a black woman.
And you're gonna go through the experiences that a black woman go through.
Yes, versus always bringing up that I have a white mama or I act a certain way because I grew up white. It's just, I'm me. I grew up how I grew up. And so if I am gonna be in a relationship with a black man, I would like him to just not bring that up. But in my experience, that's been a constant conversation topic.
Can the disagreeer step forward now?
My mom, she was adopted by a white family man. She's also half white.
Okay.
And my parents were divorced after a while, and so I spent a lot of time with her, and we did things that were white, like I was in Boy Scouts, and we camped, and we did all these different things that just weren't quote unquote black. I was reminded that I talked like a white boy all the time. And you know, those sort of things, they can add strain. Is that me saying I wouldn't date a black girl? Of course not. Like,
Yeah.
you know, of course I try to. I date anybody, but I just think in practice, you know, for whatever reason, circumstantially, it doesn't always happen all the time.
I grew up in
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I really think it's because I didn't let the niggas eat too much, bro.
a very white area as well, but I found that when I started dating, even though it was only white girls surrounding me, they didn't understand. my identity. So I was just gonna ask, like, did you or have you found that even though you were in those white situations, did you feel understood by the white women you were dating, or misunderstood?
Define understood, I guess. I don't.
Are there things that you would express, maybe like politically or identity-wise, that they might be like, I don't really understand that?
I think it's hard for other races to completely understand what it's like being black and
Yeah.
that experience. That's not to say that they can't be empathetic and sympathetic and understand and listen to you and learn things. But fundamentally, I just think a black woman is going to have a different perspective.
So I'm from St. Louis. I'm not from California. I'm not from LA. So I'm from a predominantly black area. And so growing up, there was only one white person in my class. And so I've only been exposed to our community. And to both of you all's points, my mom is black, my dad is black, my family is predominantly black. So I've been around the black man my entire life. I have so much respect for the black man to where hearing a prompt say, I prefer to date outside my race, it kind of makes me think now, because I've never been exposed truly to the opposite end in such a depth way, to where I can look at another man from a different race and say, I wouldn't want to date you over a black man when I have had solely my experiences with them, good and bad. So whether I had that bad experience, it doesn't make me say, okay, I don't think I want to date black men anymore. I want to go and date a white man. They're going to treat me better. I feel like as a man, you all should be treated as a species in itself. And you all have very intense ways of thinking. And
I
I
can
feel
go both ways.
yeah, so, true. So I don't think that it has too much to do with race in itself. We have to take a deeper dive into men.
Do you think sometimes that women or black women, since we're talking to black women, can sort of superimpose what they believe a black man should be?
Sure.
Definitely.
Sure. Yeah, like I said,
Sort of that.
with race in itself, we have to take a deeper dive into men.
Do you think sometimes that women or black women, since we're talking to black women, can sort of superimpose what they believe a black man should be?
What's that
Sure.
mean? What the fuck does that mean? It's superimposed.
Sure. Yeah, like I said, I have to say sure, but I think it honestly just depends. I think this will totally get off topic if you really want me to dive deeper into it. Truthfully, because I know that as a black woman, you can see there's black men who are excelling. There's black men who treat their women right. There's black men who honor and respect black women. And then you have black men who, although you all didn't step forward, would say, I don't want a black woman. I watched my mom struggle. I don't like black hair. I don't like black women's attitude. I don't like how they speak. I don't like how they don't respect men. I don't like the fact that they are not subservient enough for me.
Yeah.
So I do believe that we're on the totem pole. We want
Is that a
men.
problem?
Which one? I said why.
The black man that doesn't like any of the things that you just mentioned.
It's not a problem. I think it's a preference thing. I think that we've been dating the wrong people. You
I
see
agree.
that this woman is
I don't know, man. I feel like I mean, I guess like you can't do it outside your race, but like it's kind of weird to say like. I don't know. I feel like should be like reworded a little differently. Like you can like black people, but like dating white people, but like I feel like I seen like niggas that date white girls, and they like they know nothing about like black people, but then there's like black people that knows about black people and that date white people. So I feel like there's like a difference. Like you could like prefer white girls, but then like be mad black. Feel me? And then you could like white girls and then not be mad black. You feel me? So I feel like if you like white girls and you're not mad black, then like it's a little weird. But if you black and you like white girls, I don't know. I don't think that's a problem.
Very loud and
Yeah.
strong-willed, you know that you don't like that. Don't
Right.
date her.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Because I come from a similar background with you two. I grew up in Memphis, but I'm from Chicago. And most women down there, you know, and most women in the South generally are masculine.
Really?
A little too
Masculine.
rough.
Masculine
A little
how?
too rough on the guy, you know.
In the South? In the South?
Can you
like, it's-
explain like just masculine?
Masculine.
Like I just want to know like
Like-
specifically kind of what you mean.
Like instead of saying like nice hi, they're like what's up? What's up my guy?
okay. Okay.
It just seems a little more. It makes sense because it's a little more dangerous. So it's like their defense, you know. Based on the prompt, like I disagreed because I don't date based off race. I date based off who I attract, and I generally attract women outside of black women because of my characteristics, the way I live.
I prefer black women. I attract a lot of black women, but I'm open to dating all.
This fucking nigga attracts all the black Oh my gosh, bro. Oh, nigga definitely attracts black women. Like 10,000 likes, nigga. I'm gonna buy a motherfucking beard and I'm gonna glue that shit in my face. I got a big ass beard. Fucking Santa Claus beard, nigga. Shit. Holy shit.
Type, so
I checked. Oh my god, bro. It's a fucking beard, bro. Oh shit.
I have even in the past. But when I do date black women, I definitely date a specific type of black women, not
Makes sense.
the representation that we have on the East Coast. That statue. Are you guys familiar with that by any chance? I find
I
it.
was in New York.
Yeah, is it New York?
I think so. In
Yeah.
Times Square of the
Yeah.
black lady.
I don't date. I mean, everyone knows that black woman. I find it that they can be very. It's almost like they try to be the man in the relationship, and there can only be one man in the relationship. And you know, when it comes to relationships, the man is always going to take the path of least resistance. And so, yeah, I usually date black women, but it wouldn't be that particular kind.
When you say that particular kind, because that was just a statue, can you go?
Well, but
in-
it's a representation, right? It's a
But
even.
it was just like we have an image here,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the image, and you look at it. You don't know this woman. You've never had a conversation with this woman. You don't
See,
know
I would
who
say that I
she
do
is.
know that woman.
From the looks of her.
Yeah, I would say that I know
So
exactly.
are we
who that
saying
probably
is.
doesn't
because
take
let's
care
go
of
into it?
herself.
Are we saying because she's a
Health-wise.
dark-skinned, heavy-set black woman? Is that what you guys getting at? Because that's we only have a visualization of who she
Yeah,
is.
that's the representation.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Okay.
I wouldn't date that particular kind of woman. And,
Gotcha.
Stereotypes
and then when you
come into
start
play.
talking
Okay.
about weight and stuff in the black community, it can
Yeah.
be really sensitive for the women, but that does play into attraction.
That needs to be a conversation that we need to have, though.
We always have it, and they don't want to hear it.
Exactly.
Like Lizzo. Body positivity.
Right.
I mean, she's
Try,
losing weight.
you know, try telling a black woman about her weight.
Accountability is what I noticed.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Accountability, major accountability.
Yeah.
You said you date people that you attract. I think that's really important that he said that. Because at the end of the day, like we can talk about who our preferences are, whatever. You can only date who wants to date you at the end of the day. Which is why I asked the question about superimposing what you think a black man should be onto a black person. I feel like a lot of the qualities I bring to the table, other races seem to appreciate and value a little bit more.
What qualities
Yeah.
are they?
Yeah, what quality?
Okay, so I've heard a bunch of times growing up, like, oh, like I want like a thug, for instance, and I understand like that's
It's major in the South.
stereotypical.
It's major in
It is major, even in California now.
That's
I mean,
major,
like
yeah, here,
it's
yes.
it's like I guess I kind of understand what some of the appeal of that might be, I suppose. But at the same time, like if we're trying to like build a healthy community, why are we prioritizing that?
That bores
For
a lot.
some
Of,
groups.
that bores a lot of women in the black community.
But that's my
when
point.
you start
like,
talking
yeah.
about positive things and stuff like that, they want somebody that's going to be destructive generally.
I disagree.
I don't disagree at all.
I
I've seen
disagree.
so many black women that say they want thugs, they want the gangster type, they feel protected. So much so
You
to the
gotta
point
have
to
a
where,
gun.
yeah, they like the emotional highs and lows is like sex in and of itself to her. I've seen women like this where I've seen men give them STDs and they're still banging on his door like I love you. I'm like, who's really the fool here, you know?
But are
So-
thugs the only ones that are giving out STDs? Is that what we're saying? And
Majority.
I have to majority.
Majority.
Oh, you're talking to a public health background right now. Let
my
me
bad,
let
my
me
bad.
let me tell you. It is not thugs. There is no line that says I am a thug. There are white men, black men, Puerto Rican men, Hispanic, and in general, there's no percentage that says only thugs are giving the most STDs out. I'll tell you one thing, black women, heterosexual black women are the most high at risk for HIV right now, and it's not just from black men. It's from all men. That's why I want us to really dive deep into that. And then you're speaking of a community saying they only want thugs. I think education plays
Mostly.
a major role in that, because if you're an educated woman, I'm an educated black woman from the trenches. Have you all heard that term? The
we wouldn't be
trenches?
talking to you then.
I-
You
no, no,
wouldn't-
no,
you wouldn't
no.
be the archetype.
No, no,
but there
of
is a
course.
large majority of black women.
Like,
that
where are
want-
the studies
Yes.
coming from?
Where are the studies coming
Yeah.
from? The numbers.
The-
The CDC. Who?
Like specific
Local-
city, state?
Nationally.
Okay.
Nationally.
Can I just say something? I think we also need to look at what you said earlier, our environment. Why are we being quote unquote hostile? Why do we have these masculine features? It's because we're put into these situations where we have to be a certain way or evoke certain characteristics. And although like certain things are portrayed online heavily, you know, like, oh, black women want to be like sexy red, black women want to be sexualized. So kind of something that we should all look at is taking assumptions out of the window, because there are a lot of assumptions being brought up. So like, who are you talking to right now? You're not talking to a heavy representation. Obviously, you're speaking with people who are heavily educated right now. So kind of consider that and notice that, you know, you're not always gonna find a black woman that is ghetto. You could also find a very smart black woman. You know, you're not always gonna find a smart white girl. You could find a very ghetto white girl. And stereotypes are very important in conversations like this because we need to throw them out the window.
Black men are intimidated by successful black women.
I'm not. Nigga, follow my Instagram type shit. I'm not, but that's it. I love that shit. What are you talking about?
It's good that you're being real with yourself, though.
Sometimes-
That's important.
Whoa, wait. Okay. I will say, like, sometimes, I'm not gonna say all black men are, but I know I've heard from plenty of my friends and plenty of older women that I know who are kind of successful.
God damn, 62% said yes. Holy shit. I ain't gonna lie, that'd be scary. That'd be a little scary. I'd be scared. Man. Be like, oh shit, you successful? A little scary, ain't gonna lie, bro.
And they're like, yeah, it's really hard to date because men will be like, oh, you make more money than me or something.
You guys like to say that we shouldn't compare, as women, we shouldn't compare ourselves to men because we'll never be the same as you guys. But you guys do that with us. Compare yourselves to us. Like, I don't make as much as her, or I don't have all the degrees that she has.
I don't know if it's the same kind of comparison we're talking about, right? So I think a lot of the time when people are saying women shouldn't compare themselves to men, is women shouldn't try to be men versus men comparing themselves to women. It's more like,
I feel like if Shorty more successful than you, she never respect you. I gotta be the breadwinner.
am I fulfilling
Negative 170.
that traditional masculine role that's kind of expected? Now we can
Sexy ass fuck seeing ambitious women
have the
popping
conversation.
off with their own hair, nails, business. Yeah, motherfucker ain't gotta ask me for shit. Paying fucking $150. Goddamn. It's not me, bro. It's not me. I'm just.
Conversation as to whether or not that's still apt for our time or not, whether that's still relevant. I would say it is, just because it seems like people seem to appreciate, at least from my perspective, women seem to appreciate men who make more than them still.
Intimidation is a form of insecurity. So that stems from lack of communication and not dating someone on your level. Not you specifically, but you know, if the person isn't dating someone on their level, there needs to be that communication, because obviously that person is with you for other reasons.
I don't want to make the broad statement that it's all black men, because it's not. It's specifically black men that for whatever reason in their own life, they're not happy with where they are at. They have some sort of insecurity. Maybe it's career insecurity, financial insecurity. So if they're with that archetypal strong black woman, in my experience, instead of being like, oh, like, that's awesome, you have a degree in this, you got this job, you did this, they're like, okay, big mama, you got money? You got money, big mama? I'm like, what the hell? Or like, I've even had experiences where they were like basically slut shaming me, talking down to me because I got a better job, or I lost weight and people started noticing that, so now I was a whore. But in my experience, if I've been with a black man who, he is successful, he has a job that he likes, he's pursuing his hobbies, he has X, Y, and Z, comments like that are never made, because he's not
supporting you.
Yeah, he's not internalizing your success as his failure.
Yeah.
Met that across all men. They just feel intimidated when you are successful. And in my experience too, I do tend to be more of a dominant black woman, and I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, and that's totally okay, but it does scare some men.
Does it make you feel like you shouldn't lead with, because I used to be the type of person, I would lead with like all my accomplishments or my businesses. I would lead with that, thinking that, oh, he might like me even more because this is what I do, or, you know? So now it's just like, I don't like to share anything when I'm dating. Like, I don't do anything, I just sit at home.
What I've had to learn is, because I used to diminish myself a lot, when at the end of the day, I want something that's real. I want someone who's gonna love me for me and all that encompasses that. So I'm gonna be unapologetically 100% me. I'm loud, I talk my shit, I speak my mind, and if you don't like that, then you're not for me.
That's right. I think that this specific prompt goes back to the original prompt. Men who prefer to date women outside of their race, I believe that it's not really a race thing, it's a class thing. And I honestly believe that if I'm a black woman and you already view me as a stereotypical black woman, loud, disrespectful, I don't respect black men, if you view me as that way, on top of me being successful. See, I don't have to be more successful than you. Sometimes men, specifically black men, believe that you don't need to have so much confidence in yourself. I feel like you are competing with me.
Yes.
My success does not revolve around your success. We should want to be successful together, which leads back to that specific detail about creating a healthy relationship, a healthy black successful relationship. And I believe that black men view women who are very confident. I'm very confident in myself. I don't disrespect you. I respect you so much, but I respect myself more. And I think that men have a hard time toting that line of keeping my masculinity and upraising your femininity.
I think there's definitely some validity in that. I think however people decide to arrange like their marriage and their relationships, I think it's totally up to them. Like whatever roles you choose, that's up to you. If that works, if it's healthy, you should do that. I wanted to unpack the on your level thing that you said. So what does that mean, on your level?
Whether that's financially, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, anything, or all of the above. Someone who you feel you resonate well with, no insecurities. I don't know, did that answer the question?
Yeah, I guess for the purpose of this conversation, I want y'all's opinions on this. Do you think black women generally would date or marry a man who wasn't financially or had no prospects of being financially, socioeconomically on their level?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
See it every day.
Literally.
Every single day.
I wonder why the perception isn't that then. Like I wonder where that comes from then. Like the majority, and I'm sure maybe someone will agree with me when they walk over here, because necessarily you're not going, I mean, black women are most educated right now. Like necessarily you are not going to probably find a black man who is on your level. Like it's just, the numbers are not there. So a lot of black men might feel like, okay, you might just be settling because we're here now, but would you be dating me if it weren't somebody else.
You know, I think that's actually really interesting that you mentioned that because it's something that is socially imposed. And I think a lot of men, not just black men, but men in general, seek social validation from their peers. And so when other men look at each other, they're like, okay, well, what are you doing for work? Are you making more money than me? You know, obviously they're more competitive with each other, and then obviously that brings competitiveness within the relationship, which is something that shouldn't be the case, but it is in a lot of situations.
The only reason I disagreed with the prompt is just because I agree with everything you guys are saying, but personally, because my mum, who's black, she was always very successful, so I've never felt intimidated by success. But I agree with what you were saying, that I think that in my experience, if you aren't perceived to be on the financial level of a woman, then she'll just look past you straight away. I'm a musician, so we know that we're not going to be financially successful until it hits. So I'm always more see my potential. But I think there are a lot of people who don't acknowledge potential. They're just you need money now, and that's all I'm going for.
That's me. I don't see potential.
I agree. I'm 26.
Appreciate the honesty.
There's so much potential that honestly, when I first see you and you are not economically secure, I'm not looking at you. I don't have intentions on being the breadwinner. But being a breadwinner and being successful are two different things to me.
Can we have the disagree a step forward? We'd love to hear
Welcome.
from
Yeah,
the
so I
disagreeers
strongly
first.
disagree. No man is intimidated by any woman because of her credentials. That's not the case. It's usually the character and traits that come with that. They usually have extremely high egos, and you can't tell them anything. And they usually come off extremely masculine. Like what you said you can be masculine, and it might be too much for men. It's an attraction thing. Men are not attracted to masculine traits in women. That's what it is.
I don't think that's necessarily true because someone who, for example, I've known men who were intimidated and jealous because I had a college degree and they did not. It's not just the trait that came with that. It was I have a diploma, they did not. It's not just my quote unquote masculine traits that was a turnoff.
I would say that might be unique to him, but generally, it's the traits that come with it. It's not the degree, it's the traits. This idea of dating down and dating on your level stems from women. When men have money, they don't view it as dating down when they're with their women. You guys say that, not men. If a man has money and he's taking care of a woman, there's no point that he thinks he's dating down. He's just taking care of his woman.
I think it's dangerous for a woman to date down because we see it all the time. Men.
You guys all said that you would, though. You guys all said that you would date someone that made less than you, and then you said that you didn't.
I didn't respond because
We
that's
agreed
not
that they're a
true.
woman.
I never.
I thought they said, then they
I
all
could've
switched.
sworn one of
We
y'all.
didn't
I thought
see
they said
y'all
potential.
said
No,
that.
we didn't see potential. I don't see
Potential's
I
not guaranteed.
Yeah, I appreciate economic security. That's all I want. If
Oh, we
you are
know that,
secure as a
yeah.
man,
What if you're in a field where you're still studying, or it's something that you know that the payoff isn't immediate?
I wouldn't view that as potential, though. I mean, okay, you can, but honestly, if someone says, I'm going to school for psychology, when you graduate, if you want to become a psychologist, I know that you have to go and get a master's degree. 9 times out of 10, you have to go and get a doctorate degree to become a big breadwinner, okay? I know that eventually you're leaving from that field of study and you are in the works of going and becoming economically secure. See, that's not potential to me. You are a musician, yes? And so you make money.
Yeah.
If you take on one extra person and they lose their job, do you think that you'll be able to carry you all's household?
Soon.
Soon. Okay, so myself listening to you, as I stated, if I talk to you as a friend, because that's how dating starts, I'm listening to you, and if you have enough charisma, I'll look at you and I'll say, okay, this is a man who I think will eventually become economically secure for us. See, I want to date someone who is economically secure for himself first. So that's what I'm thinking about
I'll
potential.
be honest, I don't believe any of this.
You don't
I think
believe
it
any
just
of
comes
this?
straight to just superficial stuff.
Superficial.
I mean, we live in a superficial society. Women only want the men with money.
Yeah. As they should.
Oh, thank you.
But isn't,
Let's just cut the BS.
I feel that's
it's
so-
about money.
Yeah, it is.
That's
That
why
should be
mentally
that should be the
wrong.
number
Yeah.
one thing when you're dating. That should be the first thing that
Why?
you. One of the
Materialism should
things.
be the number one
It's
thing.
not. It's not just
materialism.
materialism. It's
Yeah,
that
but
I,
it is materialism.
as
There's
a
so many
woman,
assholes with
It is
money,
as a
bro.
woman, we
That's
need
what
to
I'm saying.
know.
It's not just about
I-
money,
I
but I
think
do
it's
agree it's
just
important.
about money.
It's not.
There's just a lot of
Money
BS.
should be the number one thing one of the top things that a woman should look at when she's dating.
It is the main
Look,
topic.
It is.
Saying,
It should be.
Are you saying one of or the most important?
The most important, yes.
I partially disagree because I think there are, kind of like we mentioned earlier, there are preferences. If you find someone that is interested in a certain characteristic that you have, perfect, great for you. And so we have these assumptions that, oh, all women are superficial. That is not the case. Absolutely.
Most.
Majority.
Okay, well,
That's- yes,
that is.
they are.
That's what the numbers
Maybe
I don't
what
care
you
about words. I
encounter.
care about actions. The actions say that women are superficial.
Maybe what you encountered, that may possibly be
I
the
think
case.
there will be a lot of men that will agree
However,
with me.
can you let me finish?
Yes.
Okay. Historically, if we look at the role of a man and we look at the role of a woman, that is what is proposed societally to us. And maybe it comes down to security. That is a very,
Yes.
very important thing
Yes.
within a relationship, within a community, within a society. Security is important. At the end of the day, you need money to put food on the table. Whether you're by yourself, whether you're in a relationship, whether you
Right.
have kids, right? Is that a concern?
My thing is, if you're dating someone strictly for money, I don't want to hear you getting angry about him sleeping around or him doing whatever.
The
If
men
you
with
married
no
him-
money do the
Cheap.
same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a species topic we're talking about. That's a
Men with no money
then we
have less
say-
options to do that.
and more time.
My point, but what I'm saying is
But
like,
do the men with no money really have the option
What is it,
to
man? Man,
sleep around with a lot of women?
Yes.
Yes, we
They
see it all the
do,
time.
because it's a lot of women who have less money than money.
I don't know, bro. I don't agree with that, bro. I feel like if you a broke nigga, you got no time to be. Actually, it depends what type of broke nigga you are. You feel me? I feel like there's certain broke niggas that can make it work. That get bitches while being broke. But it definitely boils down to the type of broke nigga you are, bro. There'll be some broke niggas that get mad bitches. And there'll be some broke niggas that don't get no bitches. And everybody else just kind of. So I feel like this depends on what type of broke nigga you are.
Money. And if you are a man who has no money, but you're with a woman who has money, you have money, because that's how women are.
That also goes back into validation. With you guys saying that's a bad man if he doesn't have X, Y, Z, then you also need to look at why does a man need to be emasculated for not being where he wants to be.
And if you're a wealthy man and you want other women, get into a polygamous relationship. You do not have to cheat.
But it's kind of like common sense in modern times that men at the top 10% that most women want are generally like that and have options, and they're not going to settle for just one woman.
So why portray as if you want one woman?
Who
I don't
said
think they do.
portray? Who said
I
they
don't think
portray
do.
as they want one
It's
woman?
not a secret.
Most men go to that level just so they can get the amount of women.
It's a complete double standard, but I think it is the reality that I think men want the idea of this woman is only having sex with me because men.
Territorial.
Yeah,
Dominant.
exactly. Yeah, again, this is a double standard, not excusing this, but you know, the amount of men who are obsessed with a woman being a virgin, but also wanting them to be this like sexual dominatrix as well, complete idiocy. But yeah, I think unfortunately, men would rather know that their women are only sleeping with them, but then they are happy to give it out wherever.
I disagree. I think men just want, obviously they want their women to only be sexual with them, not with other men. And I don't think that's stupid or idiotic in any way.
I'm always going to motherfucking dungeon, nigga. Putting bitches like I'm on the motherfucking dungeon. Coming up for a period. It took 3 days, bro. Every 3 days, motherfuckers get like an hour here. That. Back in the motherfucking dungeon. You feel me?
Well, I just think it's a double standard because if we expect ourselves to be able to put it out anywhere, then I think it would be fair
There's a
It
reason
depends
why.
the person, depends the kind of guy you're talking about.
There's a reason why
Same about
women can
women.
get pregnant by one man every 9 months, but a man can get multiple women pregnant.
Oh,
all
of
at
course,
once.
yeah. Evolution-wise, yeah, we want to throw it everywhere we can, but I think for modern relationships, that doesn't necessarily work.
I just wonder, do most women want to sleep with multiple people the way most men want to sleep with multiple people?
Yes. Yes.
I think,
Now
do
the
they want the
question
same
is,
thing?
why do
I
you
would say
feel the need
yes.
to want?
They do it.
I just think that men, a lot of guys intrinsically, when they have more options, they want to exercise them versus I think a lot of women, a lot of time, when they're committed to one person, would rather just be with that one person.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in months. Mortgages is recently in canvapers.com.
OnlyFans and hookup culture have ruined modern dating.
I would say that it has really completely destroyed dating relationships. It's really sad, but it has definitely watered down a lot of things too. I'm seeing that, women are they're waiting to turn 18 and then hopping on OnlyFans, that's really just a reflection of how the culture is. I think it shows a really bad reflection on how the culture is, and it's really sad in my personal opinion. I think it's disgusting.
My last long-term relationship, which is also why I've been single as long as I have been, he was subscribing to OnlyFans girls, because porn's one thing. It's like, I see it as, it's a scenario-based, it's general. You're not looking up a specific girl versus you're following a specific girl while you're in a relationship as well. Paying for it, logging into her live cams, like this, it's like, that's a whole thing. And it's not counted as cheating in a lot of men's eyes because you're not physically touching anybody, but you might as well be. It's a fantasy. Unfortunately, one of the first things I do when I go on a first date, I am gonna look at who you're following, because on Instagram, it's public. If I see a guy is following all these like big booty Latina, ass, we got a problem, shut it down.
You're not supposed to have this much access to these women in general. In a relationship, it's really hard when you have so much access, easy access to link and meet up with the people who do OnlyFans, who are on Instagram showing ass. And I do want to kind of side with men on this. I don't have a problem with men liking other women's pictures and following women on Instagram solely. I'm in a relationship. Finding that common ground is important, but I just feel like, no, I'm not going to make you unfollow all these women from social media, because you have to be strong whether you see them in person or you see them on the streets.
Do you guys think you could date someone who has, for you guys as well, do you think you could date someone who has OnlyFans and is successful?
No.
What do they do?
Depends.
I don't know. Okay, let's start off with they just post pictures. They don't have sex with anyone.
What kind of
No.
picture?
Naked pictures.
No.
What about feet pictures?
Okay, feet pictures. That's cool.
If you're posting some foot pictures, whatever, man, go get it.
Because we're talking about OnlyFans from the subscriber perspective. I always wonder, what if you met
10,000 subscribers and I will create an OnlyFans account and post feet pictures, bro.
someone who you're like, she's really cool, great personality, very attractive, but her job is OnlyFans.
You'd be setting yourself up for failure.
Why do you think so?
Second thought. Never mind, bro.
Look at her character. You don't think she's gonna not cheat on you?
I don't know.
I don't think
$1
it's
million
being
dollar
on-
subscriber.
I don't
calls
think-
in,
I don't
like,
think
That's a major red
I
flag.
got you a Rolls Royce.
Major red flag.
Not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily mean though, if you're an only.
No, I be thinking that, and then I be like hearing stories where they're like, let me just getting the money and then go back to the nigga talking about some look, babe, I got you a Rolls Royce, a fucking Richard Millie off this shit, and the nigga that done gave her all the money, he's like sitting somewhere crying about some, oh shit, this bitch don't really love me.
OnlyFans creator that you would cheat, and it depends. It's all circumstantial, and it's Like, it depends. If
will
she's
cheat.
sleeping with other people, I'm still talking. If she's sleeping with other people, I mean, yeah, then she's sleeping with other people on camera. But most of the OnlyFans creators that I've heard about, all their content is by themselves. So I don't think it, again, I don't think it directly means being an OnlyFans creator would mean you're gonna cheat.
In the sense of someone who's posting pictures, she may not have just had someone in her life to tell her like, hey, you should want to keep that for yourself.
Would she
and
listen? Would she listen to that?
Will she listen? I mean, I grew up hearing that. I'm not on OnlyFans. And we're speaking about me, but I'm just saying in general, some women who are in the sex culture, who are in pornography, there's the disconnect between self and
I know a
sexuality.
lot of women in that culture.
Do you think that feminism played a role in any of this?
I mean, the liberation of like
Women.
free choice, do what you
Yes.
want.
Get
you
back
shouldn't
at
face
men.
repercussion. I mean, I wouldn't say get back at men per se, but I think it's.
But that's
something
dangerous to
to
say that's what feminism
not
is
about
about,
men.
and where it stems
Pretty
from.
much is today. It's pretty much they just want to be able to do whatever they want and have no consequences to their actions.
I think that's an umbrella.
Yeah, I feel like you cite a lot of things too that don't really have backing as well, and you make a lot of broad statements.
They're true though.
I think feminism maybe played a part in it, but I don't think it's the reason why women are on OnlyFans.
I agree.
Right?
I think it's
I think it plays a big role.
It's
No, it does. It
modernity.
does. I mean,
Women
this,
wanting independence, OnlyFans being the
Yeah, and
easy
it-
way
no,
out.
no, I agree. It's this whole idea that
10K
like
a month? Tell me
again,
you're
sexual revolution, capitalism. It's the fact.
I don't know, man. I feel like I mean, I guess if she only posting feet pictures, man, feet pictures ain't too bad. She posting feet pictures, you know. Yeah, feet pictures.
That's the way to make money. Basically, prostitution is
Right.
the oldest profession. I think
Yeah, I was just
when-
about to solely because you brought up prostitution, but before now, women weren't allowed to have bank accounts. If you did not have a husband or a man taking care of you, what were you left with? I don't think that it's because of feminism.
Yeah.
We have to be very careful with how we're speaking about that term, although I know that there's a lot of controversial things about feminism, but I don't believe that OnlyFans is a result of feminism.
Yeah, I wasn't saying as a result. I
Definitely
was saying like
stems
it
from
plays
it,
a
I think.
majority.
Yeah,
of
it definitely
But
it.
if
stems
prostitution
role.
is the oldest job in the world, then it predates,
It predates feminism.
So I would say, to your point, it is because social media has become such a way to earn money quickly that then prostitution has just
a logical-
evolved.
I would say that's
logical
all of that.
conclusion.
I would
Yeah.
say it's a combination of all of that, not just one or the other, but both.
Prostitution, I think before it was still kind of taboo. I don't know if OnlyFans is as taboo as like a traditional prostitute. When COVID started, I think like the amount of girls I knew who were just regular girls, like, oh, join my OnlyFans.
Hard times may leave you on the street.
Teachers.
Survival mode.
Yeah, survive. You know, honestly, it's just honestly, it was very dangerous to be a prostitute during COVID, and so all right, we're gonna try to do something that's.
Wait, so to get out of survival mode, shouldn't we be finding ways to get together so there's two incomes and not one?
But you just said you wouldn't want to be with a woman that.
So maybe,
Is in survival mode like
maybe like don't join OnlyFans, but find someone to
Lower,
like,
lower your standards. Like,
find someone
They're
to
not
get
going
with.
to lower their standards.
like
They shouldn't have to though.
You don't have to. No, you don't.
I mean, I wasn't talking about standards. I was just saying like perception's reality. And then when you see a bunch of people that just kind of see just the girl down the street starting an OnlyFans and it probably doesn't go anywhere, but now like you've made this life decision and now everyone saw that, just makes you wonder where we are as a society.
Everything now is just oversharing
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
this
That's social
culture.
media.
So I think again, it's just like a natural people share every single sexual story. People
Yeah.
share every single like whatever thing. So I think people are like, well, I'll just share my body because that's the same as a story.
But do you guys feel like men play a role in women getting online and showing their body off?
yes,
There's a market for it.
100%.
We play a role in what you do with your bodies.
You buy it.
We should take accountability of the fact that there are
I don't know if we play a role, bro. Y'all just be doing that shit, and nigga, I'm gonna like it. The fuck? Like, I ain't tell you do that shit, but nigga, you did that shit. So, fuck am I supposed to do? Not like it? Like, goddamn, now I gotta follow the big movie Latinas. Holy shit.
Lonely men that are
Motherfuckers be looking at my followers.
creating a
When they talking
market
to
for
me,
this.
oh,
Like, we
nah,
can't
bro.
complain about something that exists if there is a market for it. That said, though, I don't think we should take accountability for the fact that the men are lonely.
I have felt more judged by black people than any other race.
I can say I felt more judged by black people because I grew up inner city, then I moved from the inner city to the suburbs. And so when I would come around like my black family or black friends from the inner city, they would be like, oh, you talk white, or oh, you act white, or
It's a sport at this point, the way my own people be hating on me first.
I want to go swimming today. Oh, black people don't go swimming. You know, they would like make comments
And why is it so hard for black people to support other black people?
that would just make me feel like super like, damn, like judged.
I experienced that a lot when I first moved to Memphis from Chicago at 5. Throughout all my life, I was always the different kid. In school, they would say, you talk white. And it still continues. Like, people see me, my friends back home in Memphis, they see me surfing and stuff. They see me doing things that you don't usually see black people doing. And they say, you trying to be white, when really, I'm just trying to explore life.
Right, because I'm like, what does it even mean to be like,
she
oh,
like, she got mad and
Speaking
left.
like a normal, articulate person.
Exactly.
I think it comes from the stereotype that black people are uneducated. So when you sound articulate, you sound educated, they're like, damn, because I get that all the time. I went to a white private school, half of middle school, high school, all of college. It sucked to be in predominantly white communities where even the black people were saying the same thing as the white people to you.
It takes a real toll on you because when people were telling me that, like saying you talk white, I would try to change the way I talk and try to fit in. And I was speaking ghetto, that Memphis accent, you hear me? You're like I would talk like.
And that's not normally how you talk.
And luckily, I got rid of it and went back to speaking
To
the
who
way
you are.
I really was.
Yeah.
I definitely think it.
Man, I don't know how I talk, man. I be talking. It sound like 5 different fucking ways, bro. You know, it's fucking jumbled mess at this point.
It's like crabs in a barrel mentality.
Definitely.
And it's kind of like, okay, what can we relate over? And that is the struggle within the black community. There's certain like experiences in which we find commonality or common ground. And when we see someone with a more established upbringing, like you guys were mentioning, like if someone goes to private school, I went to private schools, you know, or it's your whitewash. Why do we associate success or being knowledgeable or speaking a certain way with being white?
To hold ourselves accountable within the black community would be to stop judging each other on our level of quote unquote blackness, because that is where I do think the issue is stemming from. And I think within our community, if we're saying, telling me, oh, you're an Oreo, because like really? No, I'm educated. We need to stop talking down to each other because we have those qualities. It's not a bad thing to be articulate.
I think that's the majority, and we're the minority, sadly. It's like we gotta leave them on the plantation.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, can we have the disagree step forward?
I would say that is an issue within the black community where they try to say you're not black because you sound a certain way. I think that's ridiculous. Like, we're black because we're black, right? But yeah, like I tune a lot of that stuff out. It's just if I can't use it to do something that will better my life, it does not matter to me. And I think because of that, I disconnect from a lot of black women and some black people because I don't like being a victim. I cannot be a victim. I'm like, what is the issue? Let's work on the issue. Yeah, it might be a little harder, but that's fine. You know, there's no growth without opposition. So it's like, let's just go.
Let me ask you all a question. Are people still telling you all, you talk white? Is that an experience that you're all experiencing now, right now?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Wow. I have the ability to code switch.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I can definitely, you know, like it's a switch for me. So I haven't had anyone say, oh, you talking white. You know, it's more so like, you going somewhere. I've heard that my whole life from our community. I hate to use the word code switching because I know slang, but that's our language within the community. But outside of that, I am a very intelligent individual, so I know that I need to speak and not use Ebonics so that you'll be able to understand me. And I think that in itself outlines the fact that I feel more judged by those outside of my culture, outside of our race, than inside.
Walking around in society, I'm automatically judged by people who are not black because I'm black. And they have an expectation if I'm not dressed properly, if I don't carry myself a certain way. And I understand that. To your point, like, I refuse to be a victim. So I'm going to, like, okay, whatever it is, like, I'm going to present myself the best way possible so that I know I might be judged a little bit walking through the door, but at least I'm giving myself an opportunity. But yeah, I think black people, we might give each other crap for, like, being different, but at least I feel like we always have each other. Always. Most of the time, we have each other's back, I think, as black people.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't
I-
think so.
That's a
Especially not a
major-
black man with a black woman.
You don't think so?
No.
I agree. I agree there because I think that when black people at school said that I talked white, and especially with a British accent, it's even more like white. It was always more like you say. It was kind of just like we're in the community together. I feel like when the white people would say stuff, it was like the true attack. The girl, talking of oversharing in this modern world, the girl that I lost my virginity to, white girl, and a few weeks after, she was asking my friend about me, and she was like, does he consider himself white or black? And then my friend was like, he's black. And she's like, oh, that's a shame, because I'd only date a white guy, but at least I can tick a black guy off my list. And that's like my first ever like real sexual experience. When it was the black women in dating.
Goddamn, bro.
Saying you talk white, you're too middle class, whatever it is. Then that was just like, okay, yep, just we are different parts of the same community. When white women and other partners who would be like, you're not meeting my dad, because he would never let me date a black guy. That felt like way more cutting.
In a sense, it's a fetish. And we have to be careful about that because as a black woman, you're a black man, I'm around black men. You're not a fetish for me because you are a part of my community. And so I disagree with for myself, my experiences, the black community has fully supported me. But I think when you expand outside of your, right in your face community, you'll realize that there are a lot of black women that are just rooting for black women because they're black. I mean, we can think about the
Yeah, I
election
can
in
definitely
itself.
say environment because when I lived in Atlanta, it was nothing but like black support, black love, everybody's helping each other. You don't see too many black men with white women there.
I carry my parents' relationship patterns.
So I just had a baby, he's 4 months. And I have a partner, we're in a relationship. But I do tell him often that my mom and my dad never married. And so marriage is not my top priority. Although I want to be married, it's not the end all be all. I think that some people are raised and they've seen their parents married, like I have to be married. I don't feel that way. And I do believe in healthy co-parents, and my parents were healthy co-parents. You would have thought they were brother and sister. So I do believe that if our relationship ends, I would be okay. I am open to being a co-parent.
So I'm in the middle with this one actually, but I was leaning more towards agree with the statement. I definitely learned unhealthy relationship habits from my parents, and they're actually the model, hi mom and dad, the model of a relationship that I am trying to avoid, and they're the reason why I know like your partner is sorry. After seeing how my parents' relationship was, I learned your partner is the number one choice, life-altering choice you can make in your life.
Absolutely.
With my family dynamic, it's just a little unique because the dad I call dad is my stepdad because my biological father is incarcerated. He's also black. So my stepdad I call dad has been in my life since I was 1. But so with that, I would say my father being black, my mom being white. Now that I'm an adult, I can see there was a power dynamic in their relationship. And like I mentioned, I did grow up on the white side of my family. I didn't know until I started dating how differently I had grown up from other kids, I talk back to my parents because that's what they do to me.
Call them names.
Yes. So when I got my first boyfriend, he was like, "What in the hell are you doing?" And I genuinely did not know until I got into my first relationship, like, whoa, that's not healthy. You can't just be screaming at your partner all the time. That's not normal. And I thought that was normal because that's what I grew up around.
I think mine is pretty much exactly that, unlearning. Because my parents, their relationship was at a very loud volume, and it was a lot of aggression, passive aggression. Like I got to see them like fall out of love to lead to their divorce. And my dad had my brother and sister from his first marriage, so like I think talking about inheriting patterns, I always like expected that I would have biological kids, step kids, adopted kids. I always have expected that every single relationship will at some point die and just you will never speak to that person again. So yeah, I think I've just inherited all of those patterns like you, trying to unlearn them now. But that was like my whole childhood.
We might be half brother and sister. Don't go on Ancestry DNA.
I don't remember all the circumstances in which my parents got divorced. I don't remember. I know some of it, but I was pretty young back then. But what I do know is how much the divorce impacted me just growing up and not having my dad in the house for years. Like developmentally, I think just obviously my mom did a great job, right? You know, but as a single mom, there's only so much I think she could do. And having my dad in a different state a lot of the time, not having that male presence around really impacted my maturity, number one, my ability to be disciplined, I think. How I interacted with women in a lot of ways, I think, was impacted by not having that positive sort of male role model close in my life, involved in my life. And so I say this to say, like, I've followed the relationship model insofar as that I want to get married at some point. But after seeing how that happened and how that impacted me, that's why I view marriage so important and never want my kids to have to experience that. Like, I want to be in my child's life as much as humanly possible.
I definitely agree with what you're saying. So I know that it may have came off like, oh, we can be a co-parent today, but I don't feel that way. I just feel like most times when people get in these relationships and they have children out of wedlock, or they're married and they get a divorce, it's the end of the world. They don't want to work towards something better. They don't want to work for the betterment of the child. And so for me, that is the inherent view that I have, that the child is important. You have to put whatever you have aside and make sure that child is in the forefront. It can't be the end of the world for you. You can't hate this person because you created something so beautiful with them. But I do want to be married. I would love to marry my partner in this sense. But I think that my mom, this is something that I'm unlearning. My mom is the black woman. I don't need a man. I pay the bills in here. But my dad would help. Regardless, he could have a woman, he could have a girlfriend, but he would help towards the household. He would help her if she needed anything. He was her first call, and so I think the way I view dating is that.
My mom left her whole family for men over and over again. So she put a man above all else. That's kind of how I carried myself in primary. Like the first relationships I had, I fully poured into them, not myself, because I was like, well, they're gonna take care of me. That's what my mom's doing.
Right. But I also want to know, why does the black community not hold marriage to like a high standard?
We did when we had the most discrimination, racism, and when times were the worst for us back in the civil rights era, we were getting married at a much higher rate and staying together than we are now. And so that's why I was asking, like, how did it happen that from 50s and 60s, we ended up here to where things are regressing when things should be theoretically getting better because there's more access now?
I think back in those times, it was a necessity. As a woman, being married was almost close to a necessity because of all the things you couldn't do as a woman. I think that's why we have degressed in a sense, and I think that it should be held valuable, but it will never be the necessity that it once was.
Can the disagree step forward?
We grew up with technology and stuff like that, so I've been shaped by so many other things and shows and experiences. I wouldn't say that it would be their relationship has shaped my relationship. I see a lot of issues that I know that I wouldn't want in my relationship if I were to get married. So I can't say that it does, no.
I probably should have agreed because I look at my parents' relationship and I learned like what not to do and what to do.
Right.
Like they raised me out of wedlock. They were never together once I was born. My dad was in my life, but honestly, I love him to death, but he's a piece of shit. Watching from how they were together, I'm doing the total opposite. I have to stick with my partner forever if we're gonna have a kid, no matter what.
Growing up, I have had other father figures, and I'd say even throughout those relationships, my mom has been consistent and she's always been very mindful of who she introduced to me. My mom never argued with anyone in front of me. She never had any disputes. So everything to me in the eyes of a child was perfect. And I feel like that is a very key and beautiful thing that a lot of people need to keep in mind and maintain.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
So, because we're speaking about parents and dating habits, do you think you all levitate towards individuals who've had this same experience with their parents and the same dating habits? So, for example, if you grew up in a house with a single mom, do you think you levitate towards men who also had a single mom?
In my personal experience, especially with my mom having left when I was 16, I've struggled in my romantic relationships with my significant others' mothers every single time. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it was me unintentionally gravitating towards men who had a really close relationship with their mom. Like definitely have found myself struggling in those situations. Yeah.
Same as you. Maybe we are related.
Where's my dad?
I found that, because my parents were screaming a lot of the time, when I'm with people whose families are more like happy, I'm like, why are you guys happy? I hate it. How come I can never have this? And I'll self-destruct, I'll crash out. So I really struggle. I think I go for people that have had different experiences to how I was raised, but I tremendously struggle with that.
I think that what we're missing within the Black community is spaces like this. And so now they've created this space, and now this is on the TV of those who want to watch it. So it's up to us to advertise it.
All of our energy should be focused on going towards what our goal is as a community.
Right.
And then all the other extra stuff should just get put to the wayside for a second so we can figure out where it is we want to be and get there together. I think that's kind of what we need to do. And having these conversations is how we figure out what those priorities are.
And there's people that's doing that, but unfortunately, this is just not popular.
Well, it's a mature message, and immaturity is really highlighted today and supported.
Yeah.
So it's a very mature message, and it's going to be niche in an odd way.
But we got to stop highlighting the negativity, or we see something good that's happening in the Black community. Let's share, let's spread the message, not just spew hatred.
We can't rely on the media, who's not controlled by Black people mainly, to do the job for us. That has to be something we do together.
We have to take it to them. We have to meet them where they are.
I feel like that video up there is the video that I should have clicked on. This, bro. Oh my gosh.